beloveds, Ohana, Familia, humans, aliens, whoever this reaches. This is your weekly energy reading for the week of January 17th to the 23rd. This week is a doozy. There is a lot happening internally and it's reflecting externally. So the Power Path says to look at this week and look at your relationship with fear. There's a struggle or there's a trust confusion around it. And again, last week there was this confusion around where to be and what to feel and what to think, and the energy is continuing this week. And so as change continues to happen, as transformation is what we are embarking upon in this year, embrace the adventure, embrace the unknown, and remind yourself of the grounding practices that you had last week and continue to utilize them. Sitting in meditation, imagining a grounding cord to the center of the earth, knowing that you are rooted and supported, that you can release any of the emotions or patterns that are no longer serving you to the earth, having her alchemize it and root and bring it back up, that cord up to you to empower you with new energy that will move you forward in life, that will help you be present, that will help you stay grounded in this transformation, almost as if acting as the cocoon during this emergence that we're having. As this kind of tumultuous time feels this week, it's encouraged to listen to music to uplift your energy and to create high vibrations. So I always have a weekly email that goes out that includes music that I'm feeling that I think will resonate for the week as well. And so check out that link below for the music to listen to this week. And I tend to listen to like Rising Appalachia, to Xavier Rudd. Those are some of the songs that help put me in a higher vibration. Porangi for sure. So allowing yourself to listen and be healed and empowered and invoked by the music that you listen to this week to raise your vibrations, to elevate versus being stagnant in the energy that's surrounding us. Try to stay away from people who refuse change or who are just kind of stuck in their ways and are in a negative space. And go to nature, seek out new allies in nature. Maybe there's a new plant that you can connect with, a new tea to connect with, putting your feet on the ground, maybe even going before a hike, connecting with the earth and the land before and asking for permission to come onto its body, its being. And asking for help if this is something, if there's something that you've been struggling with or you're feeling very alone, put yourself out there, put the ask out there, and you might be surprised at who comes to your aid. So allowing for new allies to come in, allowing for help, to ask for help and to be helped. Be open to receiving help and where that could come from. Starting on the 19th, the sun moves into Aquarius, and it was suggested to look at where Jupiter and Saturn are in your chart, and that can be where lucky breakthroughs happen. So I use Time Passages app, and you can also go to, I also like Chani Nicholas's app and her website. You can pull up your birth chart, basically where all the planets were at the moment you took your first breath. And so it's best to have your birth time as well, and you can see where the planets were, and there are different houses and numbers and stuff like that, so you can see where Jupiter and Saturn are in your chart, and that will show where you have lucky breakthroughs during this Aquarius period. the cards that I pulled for this week is the Tiger. And I actually feel called to read this. I took notes, but I want to read this card. The Tiger. I don't usually pull the Tiger very often, so anytime it does come out, I get excited. Lunar force, ease in darkness, feminine energy. The Tiger hunts at night, at one with the silence, fearing nothing. This card reminds us to take in the wild darkness, to allow the lunar forces to soothe and heal our spirits. Sensuality, receptivity, and devotion are all heightened in the midnight hour, and the Tiger takes advantage of these boons. Spend some time in silence this evening, drinking in the potent calm. There is nothing to fear in the stillness except the awakening of your own power. When in balance, passionate, strong, sensual. When out of balance, overstimulated. To bring into balance, tritaka, or candle gazing. So the notes that I took with this is to take in the dark, to allow for the moon to heal you. And there's a heightened sexuality in the evening, and to let the power awaken within you. And one of my ceremonies in Peru a few years ago, I had envisioned myself as like this warrior princess, and I had a tiger at my side. And sometimes in some of my hypnotic therapy sessions, there's also a tiger there. So for me, a tiger is very empowering, a very protective energy. And so given the chaos of this week, this makes me feel like that we're protected, and that we hold on. All right, take two. Craziness in the house. All is well. Okay, so Tiger. Given the heightened energy of this week, lots of feeling like resisting change, but also this concept of embracing change, to allow the moon to heal you, to allow yourself to ease into sitting with the darkness in order to heal it, in order to change it, change the story around the trauma, the triggers, the anger, so that we can heal it. Embracing feminine energy, embracing the leaning in, the allowance of hope and change and transformation. And again, using grounding practices like candle gazing, like meditation during this week. And know that you are protected. So another card that came up again from last week was the Kente. So a reminder for you that you are protected, that you are cared for, and to allow grace to happen when we are met with change. You know, sometimes the resistance can come in, and I talked about this in the last video, of resisting to then tap into an unhealed infant who then cries and throws a fit, but instead allowing change to come with grace and the divine feminine to allow and to accept the change that is taking place. And knowing that both the sacred masculine and the sacred feminine are within you. So even if you identify as a man and you're hearing this, know that you have divine feminine energy that also runs through you. And for everyone, there needs to be a balance in those energies. And if we are over masculine, how that can be toxic, and how if we are over feminine, how that can be toxic as well. And so yes, there can be, you know, maybe 60% masculine and 40% feminine in some of us, or 70-30, but knowing that balance within us and what that feels like. And that this creates, like, knowing this creates an incredible possibility, incredible possibilities that you are capable of creating the impossible. So again, as we allow to surrender into this change with this card, is to ask for forgiveness and to allow forgiveness. You know, sometimes when we hold on to things, again, that kind of rigid feeling from last week and holding on to the past and not wanting to change, that doesn't allow for growth. And so when we don't forgive ourselves, or if we don't forgive others, that's only harming ourselves if we hold on to these stories of pain from the past. And so if we ask for forgiveness, that allows us to grow. If we allow forgiveness, that also allows us to grow, as well as other people. So allowing for that space of growth and of healing. And again, if needed, to sit in that darkness in our shadow side, and, you know, maybe the parts of us that we're not proud of, and to sit with those parts of ourselves and understand where they're coming from, and to know that that's a part of you too, and that's okay. And to, again, ask ourselves for forgiveness and to allow for forgiveness of those parts of ourselves. They still make up who we are, and our past makes up who we are, and we can embrace all parts of ourselves. And so, you know, I've also been seeing a lot of hummingbirds, and the hummingbird I mentioned in the last video is coming, they know where they're going to find their resources, their energy sources. And so for us to also remember, where do we fill up our cup, especially during this week? How can we remain grounded? How can we remain nourished? And going back to those sources to help us remain nourished. And then the bottom of the deck, again, getting ahead of myself. The bottom of the deck energy for this week is the earthworm. And the earthworm reminds us of new beginnings, reminds us of being a novice, sometimes maybe shy and reluctant. And so as we step into this new energy, as change begins to happen, we can feel brand new again. We can feel like we have a new beginning. And so understanding that everyone has been a novice at some point in their life, and that we can only grow / glow up from here. And so trust the timing of our lives. And the Trevor Hall song comes into my mind, don't rush your healing. Don't force things, allow things to come, allow forgiveness to happen, allow for this new beginning, this change to have us embark upon. And so as we are the butterflies that are emerging from the cocoon, allow for that growth to take place. So leaning into this new beginning, leaning into trusting, leaning into allowing, leaning into sitting with all parts of ourselves, and going back to those things in our life that nourish us, that ground us, so that we can remain calm amongst the chaos, so that we may remain grounded in the storm. So remember what those are for you. Remember to love all parts of you, to allow for forgiveness, and to fill up your cup, and to trust the timing of everything. And don't forget to look up where Saturn and Jupiter are in your charts to find the lucky breakthroughs. I hope this helps. I hope this resonates. If you have questions, comments, leave them below. And if you need additional support, book a reading below as well. Much love, many blessings. Peace.